Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of 365 Days of Gaming. I appreciate you taking time to check out this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Greatly appreciate it, so thank you in advance. Now we're going back to the fighting game well, and I told you about an entry into this series a while ago, but I felt like I wouldn't be doing the series, justice if I didn't talk about the original one that, introduced me to this whole franchise. So let's talk about the original Samurai Showdown. First and foremost, just the intro alone was crazy. And my introduction into the SNK, Neo Geo games was Samurai Showdown. I remember seeing it and its intro just blew me away. Now, this is, after Street Fighter 2 and, you got the dude standing outside, one guy punches the guy in the face. Like, that was cool, but it didn't quite hit the same level of like, this is, the name alone, Samurai Showdown, like that's a crazy great name, right? And being that it was a 2D fighter, weapons based, it's hitting all of my samurai ninja interests, and this was like, this is the next phase almost. Add to the fact of the actual gameplay was just amazing for its time. It's still pretty smooth to this day to me. And character selection, fantastic, right? You got the pro tag, Maru. But then you had like one of the most interesting cast of characters, especially at its time, where you got Galford, who's got a dog, you got Nakaru, who's got the bird, Ginam, you got a big giant fat American ninja named Earthquake, Charlotte, Tam Tam, Jubei's one of my favorites, Hanzo, like, just all of these different fighting styles and cultures being represented in the fighting game. Like I said, to me, this was like the next level after Street Fighter 2. And this game was a little more unforgiving. I always felt in Street Fighter, like you can get hit like 3 times in Samurai Showdown and be pretty much dead. But that was like kind of the beauty of it is, every hit matters, and every interaction, sometimes you clash weapons and things like that. Like they just had so many things that I hadn't seen before in a fighting game that I didn't realize that I wanted from a fighting game until I saw it in Samurai Showdown. You got your man in the background throwing stuff out, like he's throwing money, he's throwing health, he's throwing bombs, like just the entire spirit of this like one-on-one fight to the death competition type of thing was just so well represented. You got the ref in the back, and when you lose the last round, he yells out "Ippon," and it's just like, all right, yeah, this is where it's at. The only thing that used to suck back in the day is I would see this at the laundromat, and it was like, I gotta make my quarters last wisely. And if you know how it was back then, the Neo Geo games, the fighting games, were not very quarter friendly. Like they were tough. They had no mercy on you. Samurai Showdown was bad because they didn't necessarily have finishing moves like they had in some of the later ones. But if you got slashed a certain way, your body was split in half and you would die. And it's like, man, it's looking crazy out here. Add to the fact they also had a super meter, which I could never get to work. Like I tried to do the input with the, Shoryuken A-B combination. It never worked for me on the arcade. Eventually, when I had the home version, I could get it to happen. But back then it was just like, I want to be good at this game, but I just can't figure it out. But Samurai Showdown was just such an amazing experience that, every once in a while I would go against my better judgment and be like, I only got $1, but I'm gonna throw 50 cents into the Samurai Showdown. And even for a moment, I'm gonna feel like, this is fantastic. Like just having, characters who had pets, what game at the time had, an American ninja that had a dog as one of his primary, moveset abilities, where he's sending the dog out during, attacks. And then on top of that, he's doing the substitution jutsu, like Samurai Showdown ahead of its time, and I understand, why it was not as popular as Street Fighter, but also it should have been just as popular, if not more. But that's okay. I feel like it's getting its just due. If nothing else, we're going to talk about it here. So if you are aware of this series, we did Samurai Showdown 4, my favorite entry into the series, but it all started with this one. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on this one. Either way, I appreciate you letting me reminisce with you. Y'all have fun. Y'all be safe. Peace.